Hey guys, just finished watching Marvel's Runaways, Season 1, Episode 10, Hostiles. No, this was a great episode. It was a really cool finale for this season and stuff, and it really was cool seeing how everything went down. It was really kind of fun and stuff, and I got a list here of things that I want to talk about, so let's jump into that here. Karolina, at the beginning was cool seeing Karolina versus Jonah, seeing the two powers going against each other, and it was interesting the way they did it, seeing the way they did Karolina's. It looks like there was obviously more time put into her special effects and the CGI on hers compared to Jonah, because Jonah, we only needed it for the one episode type thing, and whereas Karolina's, we had probably used it for throughout the season and stuff, so it really needed to be more colorful and stuff, so it really was interesting seeing that. It was just, I feel like there's a little bit more detail noticeable in there. There's also more color in her powers, but from the comics, which I haven't read, she probably has more color and more detail in there than in the comics. So it was really cool seeing that and seeing the different the different ways they were doing it. It looked kind of cool. Like Jonah's face was kind of a bit weird when he was in the powers, but that's kind of all part of his powers and stuff. So it was kind of, it fits the character and it fits and still works. Even though there's something a bit wonky about it, it still kind of makes sense throughout the whole thing. So it's cool the way they did it. So it was really cool seeing that, and also just thinking about Karolina and Jonah being, related, and Jonah being Karolina's father and stuff, and Jonah, later on in the episode, he's kind of like molting, his skin's getting old and stuff, and it's going to be cool to see, is that going to happen to Karolina and stuff, and, how similar are they, and how different are their powers type thing. That's really going to be cool to play with that when we get into Season 2, since we did get announced yesterday that they are going to confirmed for Season 2 on Hulu, so that'll be fun to watch that. I'm assuming it'll be the same time next year, maybe next January type thing, or next November, January type thing. We'll have to wait and see. But it really was cool, and then it was cool when they, Jonah ended up defeating Karolina and stuff. And then, Nico wants to go, doesn't want to leave Karolina behind. She wants to go after him because she starts to caring about Karolina right now. That's really cool. Playing with that relationship is really going to be fun to go where that goes. Because I like the way they do relationships in this show, because they're not over throwing them in your face. They're only sprinkled out a very little bit throughout the show, and they're focusing on the main storyline instead of going off in the relationship stories. And I like that, how they do that, because in a show that's only 10 episodes or thing like that, it's not 20 episodes on every week on TV and all that stuff. They would have episodes where they go off in the relationships and the whole relationship episodes, whereas this, they don't really do that too much. I kind of liked how they're striking only a little bit of the relationship stuff in here, not too much of it, and I think it's kind of nice the way they do it, and how much they do is kind of perfect. So I think it's really well balanced the way they did that. And then Alex actually wanted to leave town without Karolina, so that's kind of interesting. I guess a mental note to keep for things like that, and sort of the whole, if I'm not mistaken, in the comics, which again I haven't read, but I've seen a few videos on YouTube about Marvel Runaways and summarizing the comics and stuff, where Alex ends up being the big mole from the comics and stuff. So that's really going to be cool to see if they ever do that in the show. But I think if they ever do that, I feel like they would probably save that, because it's either you do that right away from the get-go, or to get it out of the way, or the people who read the comics are expecting that Alex to be a mole type thing, and have that reveal. Let them forget about it and let them figure, they're not doing that in this show because it's too obvious. Everyone knows it from the comic books. You just Google Marvel Runaways, and one of the first things you get is Alex is a mole type thing. So I think it's really going to be interesting to see if they decide to do that. I would save that for the end of Season 2 at the earliest, or if not, end of Season 3 or 4. That way, by then we've kind of figured, they're not going to do it, and we've completely forgot that they're going to do that, and we never expect it when it does come up. So I think that could be the way they do it. We'll have to wait and see, and they didn't do it now, so I feel like they'll probably, if they do it, probably save it for at least no earlier than the end of Season 2. So that would be cool to see that if they go that route. Otherwise, I think it's nice just to keep them like this for a couple of seasons, maybe even wait till Season 5 or something. That way we really don't expect it by then, and we've completely figured that it's not going to happen at all in this season, in this show. So who knows what's going to happen with that? We'll have to wait and see. But maybe this is kind of a slow one niche into that reality, that possibility for Alex. So and then there was the whole point where they had to leave Old Lace and stuff, and that was really kind of it was an interesting moment. It wasn't really sad. I mean, it was cool seeing Gert like that, but it was kind of, it just made sense. Yeah, you can't be walking around with a freaking dinosaur and stuff, and it really was cool seeing that idea, although it doesn't end up actually sticking, because they end up running away with them at the end of the episode. So that was kind of an interesting point, but it really becomes moot now. then at the end, Leslie had no idea what's in the hole type thing. That's really going to be cool to see that. Surprised that we didn't get any, reveals to what's in the hole. Definitely gets me the idea to kind of Google what was in the hole in the comics type thing. If I'm not mistaken, it was actually a Gaborium type thing. So maybe I need to rewatch those videos and stuff. But it really is going to be fun to see what it is and how it looks when we get to season 2 and stuff. Maybe they didn't show it here, so we're hoping that they get a bigger budget for next season type thing. That would be fun. They could get a little bit more of a bigger budget, and they could just go and CGI these things and show us. So that would really be fun to see with that in the next season. So it's really going to be cool to see that. And then it was interesting, the idea of Vaughn, who is the guy from the church. He's Leslie's, the younger guy from the church. He's just a little bit older than the kids, but younger than Leslie type thing. And stuff. So it's really going to be fun to see how that kind of his story continues on, because it's unclear whether or not he was helping the kids, or if he was helping Leslie or whatever, because he didn't really say what they were doing, and it wasn't clear with that. I mean, it kind of looked like he was helping the kids, but there's still a slight possibility to me that maybe he was he was kind of not helping them, that type thing, and telling Karolina is helping Leslie, actually. So it really was interesting with that. So we'll have to wait and see where his story goes in the next season. And then there was the text, because when Vaughn eventually, after they escape and they get Karolina out, and the Runaways take off in the van, Vaughn ends up telling keeping up his saving himself by just telling Leslie, but he doesn't tell everything. So it kind of gives me the idea that he's still helping the Runaways and stuff. But then Leslie has like a flashback or something, or who knows if it's currently happening at the same time. It seemed like it was a flashback because it was a bit blurry, the shot. But you see Jonah getting a text message from unknown person, and it reads, "Mission accomplished. Let me know what's next." That was really interesting. I really couldn't tell, who was that from? Was that a flashback to Leslie getting that text when she had to go out and kill the Molly's parents and stuff? I don't know, or when Amy was getting killed and stuff. Who knows what that's going to be like. That's really going to be fun to see where that text comes in. That really could be interesting to see, because I couldn't tell if it was even happening right now. It seemed like it wasn't because of the way there was the shot was kind of blurry, and it looked like it was a flashback. But we'll have to wait and see if that thing comes back next season. And then the Yorks find something what's in the hole and stuff. It was interesting that we didn't get to see that thing. Hopefully we get to see it next season. Maybe, like I said, they'll have a better CGI budget or something, and they just wanted to save it for next season. We'll have to wait and see. So that's really going to be fun to see that. And then it was interesting that Alex called Kincaid, and now Alex has a bunch of money, and he has some guns and stuff. So that's really going to be cool to see that, and see how that kind of continues on. And then see where things go with all that. So that's really going to be fun to see how Kincaid storyline continues on into season 2, and how helpful is he going to be to the Runaways and stuff like that. That's really going to be interesting to see where things go, because I feel like at the same time, he could be trustworthy because he really doesn't like Alex's father, Joseph Wilder, John Wilder type thing. It's really going to be interesting to see where how that story continues on, but at the same time, I feel like Kincaid, who knows if the rest of the Pride and stuff, or Jonah, who has money, could just pay off Kincaid. I feel like he's a risk at that type of level. If they just bring him into the Pride, or tell him everything, and then pay him tons of money, pay him a couple of $1 million, I don't know if he'll just go away and he'll just stop helping these guys. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where his storyline goes, and how much he ends up helping the Runaways. But at the same time, I want to trust him 100%. Out there, I feel like he could be 80% chance trustable, but then there's still that little bit of him that could just get paid off by the rest of the thing. Maybe the Wilders don't have enough money, but teaming up with Leslie and all those stuff, they can come together and give him enough money, or he could be he could, if Jonah brings him in type thing, he could be a risk at that point. So I don't know. It's really going to be fun to see where that goes with that storyline, and how he sticks around, what happens to him in season 2, and how much he's involved. And then we find out that Jonah killed Amy, which is kind of obvious, I guess, that. But it's unclear whether or not Jonah actually killed him himself, or if that text message, mission accomplished, let me know what's next, was someone he just hired to kill him. And could have been that bearded guy that Tina had a while back there, and a few seasons ago, who was talking to Amy in that car type of thing. Did that guy kill her, or how did things go with that? So who knows where things go. It really is interesting to see how things continue on here. And then we get the whole Wilder family. The Wilder framed Molly for killing Destiny, which has ended up framing the whole team. I'm surprised they didn't get on a bus anyways, even secretly sneak onto a bus, because they need to get out of the town, because they can't just be running around California. They're gonna need to really get away from somewhere where people won't recognize them type thing as who they are, as because people are gonna recognize them all. They're gonna recognize Karolina as from the church. You're gonna recognize people as their billionaire parents as kids type thing. So I think it's really going to be fun to see where things go, and hopefully they end up running around, maybe going to a different country. It'd be difficult to do that without passports and stuff, but going to different provinces, different states and stuff, maybe going up to New York and stuff, and really getting away. That's really going to be fun to see where things go with that. But at the same time, you can't get the cool scenes of the parents of the Pride versus Runaways type thing if they are gone. So it's really going to be cool to see where things go for season 2. So, and it really is cool. We did get, like I said, did get a confirmation yesterday that we will be getting a season 2, and it will be coming to Netflix to Hulu, and it's really going to be fun to see where things go. So let me know what you think, guys, which storyline, if there's any storylines you've read in the comics that you'd like to see for season 2, or where you think you'd like to see it go. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.